Hello YouTube viewers and random Doctor Who fans. I'm joking. I'm so sorry for making that joke. Hello everyone, especially people that are Doctor Who fans. Today I'm going to show you something really something that I did recently, a little project I did. And just going to jump straight in. It is a 3D printed model of the first Doctor's TARDIS console, as used by William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, and John Pertwee. Now, I bought this 3D printed model kit off eBay. It comes unpainted, and so you have to paint it yourself. Now, I'll run through it really quickly. Now, this model, I must stress, is not accurate. At all. It's going to have... It is going to have focus. It's going to have some flaws and some inaccuracies, but I'm still pretty happy with it. Now, the first thing that I know that some people are going to say is the colour of the console is wrong. Because I know that for the most part in the original 60s era, the console was actually a light greenish colour. I went for the Twice Upon a Time look, where they painted the console completely white, because personally I prefer that look for it. This was very difficult to paint. The controls and the little instruments were a nightmare to deal with, especially these tiny little levers, like the little red yellow ones, and the lights were a nightmare to deal with, and all these little gauges and stuff, and you can see there's some paint bleed and it's not perfectly symmetrical, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks okay in my opinion. I'm not an expert painter. I do not claim to be one. For the little needles here, I just used a felt tip pen. I think it was a felt tip pen, but it was basically a black pen. I painted the little black turny knob things. I didn't do the radiation meter properly. I know that there's a bit of red near the end, but I didn't want to mess with that, and it's not properly painted, so it's not perfect. But no, I'm still happy with it. And I got this off a seller off eBay. I'll put their seller thing in somewhere near here. Now, word of warning, if you do go to purchase one of these, some of the controls on these consoles are very fragile. As you can see, this lever on this side is fine, this little silver, and on this side it's focus. On this side, it's sort of snapped. Same thing with these levers here. The center one is missing. Now, I did overlook the whole console, and I think there is another one that is broken. I'll come back to this one in a minute. The lever up here is gone, which is annoying, but I think that's going to happen because the parts on this are very fragile. But the 60s the classic TARDIS consoles always were knackered and kept breaking anyway, so it doesn't bother me so much. This is probably my favorite panel that I painted. I don't know, I like this design. I like the levers, and these big levers and these little ones, and you've got this bit here, which for those that haven't watched Hartnell's Doctor is called the fast return switch. But no, I'm happy with the colour of it. It was a nightmare, and it was stressful to do. It really... my hands were constantly shaking whilst trying to paint this. This is my favourite TARDIS console from Doctor Who. I know that some people love the modern ones, like Tennant's and Eccleston's, but I just love the classic design more. I think there's something basic but really timeless and cool about it. Now, if you're wondering how I achieved the glass casing, well, plastic casing, I guess you could say, this section here, yes, this part I'm not proud of, admittedly. It is pretty crap. It's a 2 litre Coke bottle that I drank all the Coke from because I'm fat, and it was a Coke Zero, but it does no excuses. It don't matter. Either way, never mind that. Yeah, and what I did after drinking it all was I cut it up and I made the housing, and now it can come off. Now, yeah, as you can see, it's got glue residue. It's just nothing special. It's just basic plastic. You can see the gap, and it is really annoying. You can see like the fingerprint marks. It is pretty crap, but it's the best I could do. I'm not an expert. Now, I'll take this off, put it to the side, and I'll show you the time rotor, as it's called. Now, I know that in the show, it is more transparent or something, like the silvery bits I painted are meant to be clear with some lights on them. I tried to put the black details in there, not very well, may I add. Obviously, like, there's no motor, so like in the show it's meant to spin, but it doesn't do that. But so I had to get a little creative with this, and I decided, you know what, screw it. I've got some silver paint lying around, I'll just paint it silver. Now, it isn't fixed in place permanently. These consoles come, as the seller said, they come hollow. So you kind of have to get creative with how you assemble it. Maybe it's to put electronics and stuff in mainly, but I didn't care about that. So how I've got it in there is, I don't know if you won't be able to see it, is some like thick foam, and I cut it out to the shape of the base of the console, and I just stuffed it in there with the column on the top. And yeah, it's not perfect. It does not always sit where it should, but I think it's fine. And I do really like this TARDIS console. Like, I'm pretty proud of it. And I've always wanted one of the classic TARDISes. Like, and character options, as we know, as incompetent as they've become, you know, this seller on eBay, I think, answered the prayers that I've been looking for wanting a classic TARDIS. This, I mean, you could paint this and make it a custom TARDIS. Like, if you love the Hartnell design but want it to be your own, you can paint it any colour you want or any design. The seller also, I'm kind of like basically like promoting this seller, even though there is no sponsor or anything. This isn't sponsored. This is just me showing off this really good collectible. The seller also does the Pertwee console. They also do the late Tom Baker, early Davison one. They also do the 5 Doctors onwards one, and they also do the TV movie, which, you know, sadly there's no Peter Capaldi or Ncuti Gatwa consoles. David Tennant and Eccleston already have a console out there as a playset, and so does Matt Smith's first one. But there was never any classics, but this person has made some. And I'm really glad to have one, especially the William Hartnell design, because that is my personal favourite of any of the TARDISes. It's not just from the classic era, but even from the modern era. And here it is with the Doctor. With the first Doctor, to be precise, as this is his console. These are the other Doctors behind me. You've got Tom, my favourite, again, next to my other favourite, Matt Smith, Ncuti, McGann, underrated, Davison, underrated, Troughton, Pertwee. We don't talk about that woman at the back. Oh, that's going to piss someone off. But anyway, yeah, that is the TARDIS console 3D print that I got off eBay and painted. I'm pretty happy with it. I might get another one of the other Doctors. I'm not sure. There's not much space, but oh well. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.